Okay. All right. Well, that's too bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Well, we'll see.
recording it, so we're good.
Yeah.
They can listen
Okay.
in.
Well, hopefully, yeah, we'll see. Maybe they'll get that taken care of and we'll get them back on the Zoom call. Um, so as you know, I sent you yesterday again about the buyer love letters, and there's the webinar this Thursday at 1:30 for 1 hour. So if you're still curious about it, or you actually want to be educated about it, so that when you have a listing and another buyer from outside tries to send you a love letter about their buyer and all the wonderful things about them, that you'll be able to reject that letter and then explain it to your seller as well. So if you're still a little apprehensive about that, then watch the video, or the webinar rather, and I think it'll help you have that confidence to do that when if that particular issue comes up. So yeah, so that's this Wednesday. So I also wanted to tell you about the CAR report, which was mostly about the DRE. And the DRE, it kind of cracks me up because they can't get people licensed right now, but yet they want to be the enforcement for any COVID violations. So they've actually put together a task force of certain officers apparently that are out there already doing this. So I think we have to be careful because, as I've told you many times in the past, our guidelines have not changed at all. And so basically what they're saying is we are required, among other things, that all visitors to the property wear a mask, agree to the posted rules of the entry. So I was asked that not too long ago. Excuse me, sorry. I was asked that not too long ago about still posting when you get a new listing, and absolutely you have to post that COVID guideline, with the I think it's with that picture sign. You have to use hand sanitizer. You're supposed to use hand sanitizer on your way in. I'm not sure that that's happening. I see that it's there I've been to a couple of open houses or by appointments, and they have it there, but they don't necessarily say, use it. So I think you might have to point it out, might be a good idea. And then there must be disinfecting before the showings and after the showings. That's another one that I'm just not sure about, whether that's happening. I had an inquiry last week about lock boxes, and although I'm not particularly advocating lock boxes, there are a lot of agents that are putting their properties on lock boxes. And so if you absolutely have to put your property on a lockbox, you need to have the sanitizer there at the property. You should talk to the agent who's going to be showing it and ask them to clean up afterwards. So you should probably have some wipes there for them, because the showing agent is actually responsible for cleaning up after they show the property and coming out. So, again, I think as time goes on, we all sort of get a little bit more relaxed about it, but the DRE is not relaxed about it at all. And so the other thing is that they are pursuing citations and disciplinary action, and they are asking agents to turn each other in. And they want to be contacted if you see anybody out there that's violating it. So there you go. So they talked just a little bit about the economy. It said the economy continues to bounce back. but is recovering at more of a moderate pace. And of course, it's California wide. I think Santa Barbara is, we're always a little bit above that. While many economic indicators are clearly showing signs of improvement, it will take time to get back to the pre-pandemic level as many uncertainties remain unanswered. The housing market, on the other hand, remains a rare bright spot, even as it transitions into a traditional slow time of the year with the holidays. So while the market is showing signs of leveling off in recent weeks, it is still stronger than normal as we still have our low interest rates and we still have a lot of interest from buyers in continuing to, to buy property. So again, we should be grateful for that. It's pretty amazing. So let's see. We've got quite a few agents that have been able to join us now. Is Cecily on the line?
I am. I'm here. Let me turn on the video.
There she is. Yay.
Hello.
All right. So Cecily is our newest village agent. And gosh, Leanne was out last week, so she's been patient with me with the paperwork. I told her Leanne will get everything all situated now that she's back. So Cecily, can you just say a few words about a little bit about your history in real estate?
Yes, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on this morning to talk with you all. I'm so happy to be a part of Village now. I just moved recently to Santa Barbara from Los Angeles. I was living in Santa Monica for the last 7 years, and I got licensed in 2016, and I hung my license with Keller Williams, Beverly Hills. So I was there for a few years before joining with Silicon Beach Homes in Marina del Rey. And then the pandemic happened and moved up to Santa Barbara recently, a couple of weeks ago. And I just stumbled across Village Properties. Actually, I was walking around Montecito and I popped into the smaller office and spoke to a lovely woman named Jan. And she was so amazing. She told me her story, her background, and she said, you should speak to Renee. And I was going to try to stick with my office in LA and, try to do a satellite thing here. But, she encouraged me that it would be really nice to be with a local brokerage and have a community here. And when I talked with Renee last week, Monday, it was just a no-brainer that this is where I'm supposed to be. She was lovely. We spoke for almost 2 hours and I got to learn a lot about the company, a lot about Renee's background, and got to share a little bit of my story, where I come from. Working in real estate and working in the finance world for a number of years as executive assistant to C-level executives. So I've been around a lot. I've seen a lot in finance and real estate, and I'm really excited to be on the team and to just rock and roll. And I'm really happy to meet all of you. Hopefully we can see all of each other in person. And we had a wonderful meeting a few days ago for the new agents, and it's just a really lovely community, and I'm so happy to be on board.
Well, welcome, Cecily. Again, we will see you in person more often, hopefully in the near future. So thank you for that, and welcome. She'll be working primarily out of the Santa Barbara office because she lives downtown. So, but obviously, if you see her in Montecito or San Ynez, say hi. All right, welcome, Cecily. Thank you. Wonderful. Okay, so I think the next, so I was emailing with Cindy, and as you all know, Cindy has taken over the position that Patty Tunnicliffe had, and she's doing an amazing job, and she's also keeping up with all kinds of things with CAR, legal, and everything. So she brought some things to my attention, which we have discussed in the past, but there is always room for us to speak about it again. I'm going to start out with with one thing that I've been noticing, checking the files, which is, you know, it doesn't happen often, but we really can't depend on our transaction coordinators to catch this. But we're seeing the wrong DRE numbers. So on the first page of the RPA, we're actually not seeing, sometimes the village number is wrong, sometimes your own number is wrong, which is quite surprising. And when you are writing an offer and there's another agent, obviously the listing agent, which is with either village or with another company, you need to look them up. I mean, you just simply go into Flex and find their number, and you can find their company number, and you can find their individual number. So what's happening is that sometimes the agents are transposing, they're putting the village number as their number, and then their number down for village, or vice versa. And so that's something you really have to pay attention to, because if it's incorrect, you have to do an agency confirmation. You have to redo it. And it's just another step for you to have to do, and it just doesn't make any sense. So if you'd like to write our village number down, I have it for you so that you can put a Post-it or something and be sure and have it there, and then maybe right below, if you haven't memorized your own number, have your own number there, and then you won't get those two wrong. Our number is 012-06734. So it's 012-06734. That's villages. So the other thing I'm finding is when an agent from outside of Santa Barbara, LA agent, San Francisco agent, they don't have access to our MLS. So they're not even filling it out at the top. They're not putting your number in at all. And so you immediately have to turn around and send them an agency confirmation, correcting that immediately. I mean, that's, one of the most important things, as Mona would say, when you get in court and they blow it up, on this huge screen in the courthouse, where you made your mistake, and it's agency, it doesn't start out right, on the right foot. So please keep an eye on that.
Renee, can I chime in?
Sure.
Okay, so on the agency, in fact, if it's not filled out correctly, you should be issuing a counteroffer at that point in time, because agency is supposed to be dealt with at the time the offer is received. The first page one is for the buyers and the sellers confirmation, and that's why it's critical that paragraph 2 is filled out correctly. And then on page 10, that is your broker's confirmation between the brokerages confirming the agency. So two separate things there, because brokers are not part of the contract. So that's why that agency confirmation is critical, that it's dealt with at the time the offer is being negotiated. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a great point. Yes. So yeah, I would hope everybody would remember to do that, because yeah, it's the right thing to do is to get agencies corrected while you're negotiating. So what Cindy sent most recently, or we were going back and forth this morning, is again talking about the TDS and the SPQ. And again, the TDS, as you know, every single section of the TDS has to be filled out. And it begins with the first section, which has the 3 boxes. And as we've said, and CAR suggests, most of these have to be, the 3rd box should be checked. the second box actually deals with a substitution of the TDS, and there is no substitution for the TDS. I saw one, I've seen a couple come through, not from Village, but from other companies, where they've actually marked the second box and they've written something in there about an inspection or something. And an inspection does not replace the TDS. So I'm not sure, why those agents did that, but they did. I have not seen where our agents have done that. So thank you all for not, so far, I haven't seen it. So, so the TDS and the SPQ, pretty much go together. Although the SPQ, as you all know, is not mandatory, the TDS is. And then the third page of the TDS has to be filled out either by an avid or in that section by an agent. And then everything needs to be signed before the TDS is complete. We highly recommend that you use the SPQ and that your sellers use the SPQ, because it triggers a lot of, issues in the house that they can read about and, and then to report on. So we definitely want to make sure that again, go back over the TDS. So if your seller, when you send it to the seller and then the seller sends it back, that's one of the most important, forms for you to actually stop and look at. And I know how fast paced a lot of these transactions are, and that you've got multiple offers, and you finally got that one into escrow and you've got the TDS sent to you, and sometimes they're even shorter escrows. But please take the time and look at the TDS and go ahead and send it back if indeed it isn't if it isn't filled out correctly. Now I know that and I'm going to let Cindy talk about this for just a minute. I know that Cindy got her information from legal, and legal actually tells us to send it back to the agent, the listing agent, if it's within Village. I definitely want you to send it back and say, hey, Renee, your seller missed section 2 or whatever, or they forgot to, whatever, or they forgot to initial the first page. Please let me know and let each other know. What I was reading, what Cindy found out is that CAR is actually asking us to send that off to the back to the listing agent outside of our companies as well. So Cindy, do you want to just chat about that, since you read that legal part of it?
Certainly. So talking with Jessica at California Legal Hotline, she said that if you get an incomplete TDS that's not marked properly, you should send back a notice for the seller to perform filling out the TDS correctly, or the SPQ, or the ESD. If the ESD is not even, anything that has a checkbox should be checked. Remember that it's about awareness. If the seller doesn't know and he's unaware, then you mark no. And we don't want sellers writing in unaware, don't know, whatever. Just check the box no. It's about awareness, she said. You're either aware of it or you're unaware of it. And if you're unaware of it, it's very clear no. We want this to be filled out correctly because the buyers have a right to rescind on the information that is provided. And if it is not provided fully, completely filled out, then it can be deemed incomplete and they would have rescission rights. The entire transfer disclosure statement issue came down into law because people left out information, and after a transaction was actually closed, they were able to go ahead and go back and rescind the whole transaction because of incomplete information. So we as agents, our duty is to, we can't tell them what to do or how to do it, but if they miss something, we need to direct them that they have liability potentially. And that's, we're wanting to protect them from liability, because as the TCs and management, when we review your forms, this is all about trying to prevent litigation in the future for everybody. And that is really why we go back and say this needs to be done or that needs to be done. And the same thing applies to teams. If you're a team and you're filling out the AAA, that doesn't preclude you from filling out the AVID. An AVID has to be submitted for each team member unless the two team members do their visual inspection at the same time. Then they must sign the same AVID and give it back. Just because they signed an AAA, an additional agent acknowledgement, it doesn't preclude them from signing the AVID. The AVID is very critical for the file. So if you're a team, it's a good idea just to incorporate that AAA into your purchase contract so that you have it in the file. And then if on page 10 of the real estate purchase contract, if somebody doesn't sign the broker's box there, but you have an AAA, you're okay. But it's not okay when it comes to the AVID, because again, it ties back to the TDS, which then ties back to the buyer having a right to rescind. So hopefully you understand that when we send back comments or remarks, it's about keeping you out of litigation and your clients.
That was perfect. Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate that. I think that, yeah, I mean, sometimes, I'll hear agents say, I'm doing all the work and the other agent on the other side is doing nothing. And it's like, yep, that happens sometimes. Just do it and do it right. So I do like that. I think cooperation is great. The last thing we want is, a lawsuit at the end. No one wins with anything like that, or unhappy buyers and sellers. The other thing I'm noticing is, and some of them, you're just not getting the disclosures into the file in a timely manner. But then some of them, when they finally do come in, I've noticed that those disclosures were just signed and it's just before the close of escrow. And disclosures are, as long as those are open, the buyer can still get out of the transaction. So I think that even if you have an agent on the other side that's not as efficient as you are, or as timely, you have to bug them. I mean, you just have to, and you have to say to them, listen, this is for both of our protections so that we can have a clean, on time file, and that we don't have, these last minute dates on disclosures. So anyway, so just a few things that we've kind of noticed going forward. And
Can I just pipe in on one other thing too, Renee?
Sure.
So DRE doing their monitoring of us staying safe. There's a lot of, in the file, there's a lot of PEDs that have been handwritten and showing up. And remember that they're supposed to be electronically communicated and not being handwritten. We're not supposed to be dealing with paper. And I know even myself, I'm academician, I would ask for the PED and they show up and they think they can sign it right there on the car. So as a list agent, if you have to send it out prior to and be tough about it, then you have to, because otherwise you're running the risk of being called out by DRE. The other thing on the hand sanitation being presented, I know that myself, when I would be at my listing, I would greet everyone at the door with our great Village Properties hand sanitizer and say, would you like hand sanitation or would you like to put on a pair of gloves? So I think it's how we as agents representing the company and protecting ourselves. And of course, there's people that are very relaxed out there, but we just don't want to be in litigation.
We can't, right? We just can't, because they have not loosened up at all on our guidelines.
Can I just say something real quick? Can I say something real quick? Am I unmuted?
Who is
it? Jan. It's Jan.
Oh, Jan.
Jan
Jan.
Bannister.
Hi.
Uh-huh.
Hi. I think it gives kind of a hostile environment if you give a notice of seller to perform on an AVID or the TDS. I'm sorry, TDS. I think it's more appropriate in being cooperative with one another to shoot an email to that agent and just say, hey, I just don't want to be, have us, the buyer to be able to rescind, and we need to do this in a timely manner, and here's the timetable. Just something nice, because I know when I've got a notice for seller to perform or buyer to perform, it felt like there was hostility instead of talking it out before. And if you don't have that, obviously fall back to it, but don't start with it. Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up because I agree.
Thanks.
And Cindy was on a call with an attorney.
Yeah.
So they're going to say that, and they're going
Okay.
to say use our forms and whatever. But
Yeah.
absolutely, you don't want to send, especially on something like that. I mean, save that
Yeah.
for something that's really necessary when you really
Right.
need the notice to perform. So yeah, thank you, Jan, for bringing that up. Okay, I think we're going to go to our new listings so that we have some time to actually chat about them, and then we'll talk about we'll get Jackie and then our training and so on. So let me see. Let's start with Elizabeth. I see Elizabeth there. Hi. Good morning. West Constance.
Yeah, so 209 West Constance. I had a very busy weekend there. I did 20-minute increments with showings, and we have received one offer that we have not responded to yet because we just got it this morning. I did get some handwritten peds, and then I also had a couple people that came to the property to see it that weren't on the electronic ped. So then I was wondering how to handle that because they're not on the electronic database. So anyway, but a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom Spanish home, really nicely updated. We've got a couple more showings today between 12 and 2. Thanks.
Right. Well, I can just tell you that there are there are some agents that are very strict about that, Elizabeth, and they just basically say, I'm sorry, you're not on my list and I cannot let you in. I mean, that really is the proper way of doing it. I know it seems unfriendly, but what if it's a plant? What if it's a DRE person and there you are, giving in, and I just don't put it past them because of they're trying to enforce this. So I'd be careful. Let's see, is Bob here? I think he might have still been traveling. Bob, are you on the call?
I don't see him on.
Okay, so Bob has 601 East Mitchell Terrena listed, number 98. So check it out online. I did see Simi. Simi, you want to talk about Orchard Park?
Good morning. Hi there. Yes, Orchard Park is aptly named because it is located at Kyrell and Patterson amongst an orchard, and there are 20 lovely homes there. So they've got avocado trees and lemon trees and orange trees that bear fruit, and all of the homeowners get to partake in those fruits. They've also got raised vegetable gardens, so it's great. It's this sort of farm to table environment, which is really unique in town. And this home, my couple purchased it about 6 years ago. They're sort of outgrowing it. They've got a little one now who needs a little bit more yard space, but they've done quite a bit of remodeling. So they've got a beautiful kitchen. The wife is a chef. They've remodeled the kitchen. They've remodeled the master ensuite. It's very much like a spa up there. They have put in new Brazilian exotic hardwood flooring, and the home is meticulously maintained. This couple I've worked with a few times now, and it's always a pure pleasure to list as properties because they really are quite unique, and everybody that comes through always comments on it. So I will have photos taken tomorrow. The soonest I can show it is probably next week. The husband's having some surgery tomorrow as well, but I will be working with a very tight time frame. They've got their sights set on their replacement home, so I will need to get this one into escrow quickly. It is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath home in 2,600 square feet. That development has a nice pool and a little tot lot there for the kiddies. So it is priced at $1,349,000, aggressively priced to get it into escrow. I'm hoping someone can work with me on this one. Thank you. Let me know if you've got someone who'd like to see it though.
Yay. Thank you, Simi. Sounds great. The Riskins brought on 700 Park Lane. I don't know if anybody's on the call to chat about it. 27,500,000. I'm sure they'll have gorgeous pictures and photography on that one, so check it out. Allison, Santa Teresita. Are you on the call, Allison?
Allison's not, but Michelle is.
Michelle, do you know about this one? Okay, maybe not.
Oh.
All right, 25 Santa Teresita, 2,795,000. So check with her. That's off of Ontario. Nice area. Okay, let me see. Was that it on the new listings? I think it was. Is there anyone else out there has a new listing that we missed on the agenda? Okay, so that's the reason that the market is going to slow down because we don't have enough inventory. So go out there and get some more listings, you guys. Thanks. Okay, so we had one price change with Jeff on Crocker Sperry, now listed at $3,995,000. I also, well, I'll talk about that when we get to the close. So here are our sales for the week. David McIntyre, Alamo Pintado, congratulations with multiple offers. Aaron on East Anapamu, not sure about multiple offers on that one. Jackie, Arcady, that went quickly this time around. Congratulations. No multiple offers. Cavaletto Group, 4,400 Carpinteria, multiple offers. Vivian on Clearview Road, Grub Campbell, and Jay Cropman's on Coyote with multiple offers. The other one on Coyote with Grub Campbell, both sides of that one, 940 Coyote with no multiple offers. Allison, Granada Place with multiple offers. Diane and Brianna on Granada. Oh, I'm sorry, Allison was Goldfield Court, sorry about that. And Diane and Brianna are Granada Place with multiple offers. Ruth Ann with East Highway 246. Carrie, East Highway 246 as well. David with Lalita Lane, sorry about that, with multiple offers. Kristen and Amy on Marina Drive with multiple offers. Very nice. Elise and Ruth Ann on Miramonte Drive. Do you know the price of that one, Elise? Or the list price? Was there a list price?
Hi, it was listed at $639.9, and this is my first. I know I've been very, very quiet, so thanks for being patient, but it is all happening for me. I wrote 3 offers last week, so very busy now.
Hey,
Congratulations.
very nice. Yes, congratulations, Elise. That's wonderful. Okay, Riskin Partners, Monte Vista in escrow, not sure about multiple offers there. Crawford Spire on North Ontario. Jeff and Robert Watt on Rhodes Avenue. Elizabeth, San Andreas unit with multiple offers. Congratulations. Carla, 87 Seaview. We're not sure about whether that one had multiple offers. Congratulations, Carla. Valhalla Drive with Michelle and Jeff out in San Ynez. That one had multiple offers. And actually, I think Michelle sold it. Yeah. So, and then Jeff on Valley Club got that one closed, and that was multiple offers. And I believe, I don't know if he emailed me on that one. Anyway, that I know that one went over asking. I'm not sure. That one's already in the closed. It closed. Diana Brianna on Vista Vallejo with multiple offers. John and Jane with Whitney. Randy and Molly on Woodley Road, and that one with multiple offers. It's kind of interesting to see the high-end properties with multiple offers. We haven't seen that in a while, or yeah, for quite some time. Any other sales that we missed that we didn't get on the agenda, or did Chris do a good job? All right. Great. Thank you all. And then here are our solds for the week. Congratulations to Pamela on Cienneguitas, Barbara Moore on South D Street, Lynn and Connie on Elm Grove, Bill Reed on Garcia, Nancy on Gerona, Knight Real Estate Group on Green Heron Spring, not in MLS. Congratulations. Priscilla on Jericho, not in MLS. Ian on La Rota. Tim Walsh on Las Alturas. Deja and Ruth Ann on Marina Drive. Congratulations to you too. I think that one, you guys deserve a little medal for that one. Jeff, 2 in a row, Old Mill Road, 2 of them. Crawford Spire on Palisades Drive. John Sainer on Romero Canyon. Julie on North San Marcos. Randy and Molly on Seacliff. Kathy and Tiffany on East Valerio. Cavaletto Group on Veronica Springs. And Carrie Kendall, both sides of Villa Rancheros Road. Wow. Well, another amazing week. Like I said, I think we're just needing, some more listings, obviously. And I know you guys are out there working hard to get those. So if there's anything I can do to help with getting listings, please, let me know, let Bob know, let Natalie know. Don't forget that you can have, Mayfair write a letter. You can also have Leading RE write a letter for you. I'm happy to write a letter for you if it's appropriate. And just, check with any of us and we'll do what we can to help you get those listings. All right. Leanne, do you want to talk about our training?
Yes, sure. So on Tuesday at noon, we've got a couple of conflicting things going on. The Santa Barbara Rental Property Association is doing a quick learning lunch on the Santa Barbara city laws. And then there's the Tuesday's tips also at noon, video marketing through social media through the association. So that would probably be interesting. Tuesday at 2 to 3, we have Jennifer Lemert and some of her Fidelity people giving us a title and prelim class. She's going a lot more in depth for our new agents who were at the 101 class. She's taking things a lot deeper. And this is good not just for new agents, but if you are an experienced agent and you just want a little bit more information on title and prelim, this would be great. They're also going to do the Fidelity Agent app, which is an amazing app. So go over how to use that as well. So that is at 2. to 3, it's Zoom, and you do need to register. And we do want our new agents definitely to attend that. Wednesday is Tim with the DIRT meeting at 10. And then on Thursday, the association has an NAR green designation training. I know they had limited numbers, so that may have filled up, but there is the registration there. So that's it.
Great. Thank you so much. Yes, I think that what I'm seeing lately, which I'm really pleased about, is when you're ordering your prelims, you're also ordering, you know, the more detailed. I'm forgetting the name. It's like you're actually getting the easements mapped out. Is that how you say it? So I'm loving seeing that, because basically, you know, what I've seen lately come across it, are things like, you know, where does my water line come from? Where does it, you know, does it go across my neighbor's property? Does it, you know, where does it actually come from? We have one right now in question where they never identified where the line came from. It's a Montecito property. Just assume, well, we've got Montecito water, we're not going to worry about it. Well, it went across the line of another property, and when he was doing construction, he cut their water off. And so now it's kind of a bit of a mess. And the owner of the property now is like, well, wait a second, I thought I had my water. I thought I had my own water line. What do you mean it goes across somebody else's property? So, you know, it's an interesting thing. It's one of those things that sometimes we just don't think about. And then, you know, something weird happens. And, you know, I'm just a believer that, you know, things happen. They just do. And you never know what the next thing's going to be. So I know it's hard to stay on top of absolutely everything, but having those, they're like color-coded maps. I don't know if Natalie's on the line, but that's one thing I know. She is very, very conscientious of making sure that she gets that, has that mapped out for the client to see, along with their prelim. And sometimes it doesn't have anything on it, especially, you know, when you're selling a home, you know, in Goleta or Carpinteria, in some of the more tract areas, because they were pretty much, you know, spelled out, and you didn't have to worry about those kind of things. But some of these properties downtown, and, you know, in the foothills and Montecito and Hope Brant, you know, you've got to really make sure that buyer understands what they're getting. So don't forget about those, asking the title person to map it out for you.
Renee, it is Natalie. I'm on the line. Can you hear me?
Hi, yeah.
Hi. Yeah, it is really important, you guys. And even like Mesa properties can sometimes have easements, you know, these smaller plots. I always ask for the plotted easements. And then especially if I'm representing a buyer, I really look at that prelim. I have one right now that has some interesting things on it, and it looks like they should potentially not be on the prelim anymore. And so I always ask the title officer who prepared it to explain it to me, because it's better to be ahead of it. A lot of your buyers won't look at these prelims, and I've had one in the past that went through escrow closed with, you know, somebody else at Village, and when I went to go represent the property, we had to clean it up. So it is really important you just take that extra step and protect your clients when you're representing any property. So yeah, plotted easements, definitely always ask for them, because they won't just provide them. And if you know something about the property and you don't see it on the prelim, you may want to ask that title officer, hey, a neighbor told me this, could you look into it? Because it might be on the neighboring property, it won't affect yours. But it's just always better to be more diligent, because these things can turn into a nightmare after the close of escrow.
Absolutely.
On that same note, on the prelim, monitoring the files, I saw where there was a seller holding their property in trust, but nobody had picked that up and the transaction was ready to close. So then we had to get an RCSDS from the parties. So you want to check that prelim, how is the property held in title when a seller's selling the property, so that if you need to have an RCSDS signed, you can get it right away.
Great point. And those of you that take the class with Jennifer, you know, that's one thing when you go on that site, or First American has one as well. You can pull up the prelim, or property profile, and it tells you who owns the property and how they've taken title. So before you even, you know, write the offer on that particular property or take the listing, you know, you can see it, and then you can say to your seller, oh, by the way, I noticed here that you and Susie have a trust, and this is what it's called. Is that true? Are you still taking title in that particular name? And then you don't have to go back and do the RCSD all over again and have everyone sign it again. And that's a pain in the neck. The other thing I found out recently is that we had a title officer by the name of John Hebda, and I'm not even remembering. I think he was with a couple of different companies, although I don't think he ever moved. They changed names, not him. But he will do a consultant. He's excellent, and he will consult if you're not getting the answers that you need or want from your title officer. John can actually search. Will go in and take the time. I mean, they'll have to pay him an extra fee, but it's absolutely worth it, and he's excellent at what he does. So John Hebda, if you get in a situation, just let me know and I can give you his contact information. All right, let's see. Let's go with Jackie now with our stats and see how we're doing this past week. Jackie?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So here are the stats for the past week. 7 coming soons, 53 new listings, 22 price changes, pendings 46, 14 under $1 million, 21 $1 to $2 million, 5 $2 to $4 million. Last week we had 20 in the 2 to 4, so sometimes the weeks kind of even out on the average there. 4 to 8 million, 4 pending, and 2 over 8 million. And the high price pending, 4305 Marina Drive in Hope Ranch. That's the ultra contemporary. It sold, I want to say 3-4 years ago, for 17 and change, I believe. List price 27.5 million pending. Let's see, hold on. Over 10,000 square feet, 3.7 acres on the bluff with beach access. So closed 65, closed. So I looked back, you know, when we get higher priced in the closed stat, that means if you look back 45 days, that's when you'll see the surge of the pending, you know, so it looks like August was the high price, the high activity month, where we had 63 pendings, 76 pendings. Now we're sort of more 50s on average. So yeah, still very active. It was just interesting to see, to look back how large August was for activity. Okay, back to close. 65, 25 closed under $1 million, 17 1 to 2, 15 2 to 4 million, 6 4 to 8, and 2 over 8. So we had I guess this is our record-breaking sale for the South Coast, the Jackson Ranch or Rancho San Carlos closed. 237 acres, 30 parcels, one beautiful family compound for a very, very extended family. Came on the market in 2014 at 125 million, reduced down to 75 million, and closed at 63,250,000. So that was something for the record books there. Okay, expired 1, canceled 3, withdrawn 3, and 15 back on the market. And I did pull one stat. I just was curious. Back in that 2 to 4 million price range. So this is carp to Goleta, not condos, 2 to 4 million, and not land, but so houses and PUDs. Currently, there are 77 homes, 2 to 4 million, carp to Goleta, actively for sale, not in escrow. In the immediate past 30 days, 44 additional went into escrow. So that's less than 2 months of inventory. That's 1 3/4 months of inventory in that price point, which, you know, we're used to seeing 8 months of inventory, maybe 10 months. So, you know, if you go back a year ago, so just more confirmation of what we know. There's a lot going on. So if you have sellers in that 2 to 4 range, there are more buyers than sellers right now.
Right. Yeah, I definitely hear that from all of you, that it's a little frustrating to find agents, to find properties in that price range. And I know a few have said, oh, I feel like the market's kind of slowed down just a little bit. And, you know, my explanation for that, whether it's this market, whether it's whatever market we're in, is, you know, we have this surge of buyers and they just buy. And then the inventory goes down, as we know. And it's not that there isn't anything out there to show them, but there isn't enough to show them. And for us to have to say, oh, well, you know, what you're really looking for, there's 3 or 4 I can show you. And, you know, they want to see more than that. They feel like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to make a decision on just 3 or 4 properties. It just doesn't feel right to them because, of course, you know, buyers have become more and more sophisticated and they think they have to see many more properties than what we have available for them. And we do our best to, I know you're out there, explain to them, this is what our market is like right now. And if you don't, you know, act on it, then that house will be gone. And sure enough, it is. And but you know, it just it just takes a little while, unfortunately. And you know, what'll happen is those buyers will kind of hold back for a while, and then your property may be sitting there. But then all of a sudden, more properties will come on the market, and then those buyers will be out there looking again. And then your property that's maybe been sitting there will get sold. So it's that simple, especially in this particular market. So anyway, I think we're just so amazingly fortunate that, you know, our industry is able to be, well, it's a lot, even Jackie, even with Arcady, I mean, the timing, right? It was just the right timing for your property.
Yes, yes. These buyers, you know, don't jinx anything, but they love it. You know, it's
Right.
a great Cold Spring School home, but no, these are empty. They don't have kids. They don't even have grown kids, but lots of friends to visit. So and just again, don't want to jinx it, but we were listed at 2,995,000. We came off the market in April. And we repositioned price-wise because of the market, and had 3 showings first day. And all things goes well. We've got a nice solid buyer.
Perfect. Yes. Well, so anyway, so those of you that are a little frustrated right now, you know, just remember your day will come for sure. Let's see. You know, I was just curious whether is Brianna, are you on the call? For some reason, I can't scroll through.
Yeah, I'm on the call.
There she is. Hi, Brianna.
Hi.
So so our Teachers Fund fundraiser ended last week, correct, Brianna? Was it last week?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so, as you may or may not know, we raised $56,000, and the goal was 50. So I just can't say enough about Brianna and her committee, who worked so amazingly hard to raise all of these funds. And you know, Brianna, you know, as I said on film last week, I was skeptical about raising money online. It was sort of, what? How we can't do that? How are we going to raise, you know, that much money, any money online? And Brianna she totally got it. She totally was committed to it. She had the whole plan in her head, and she orchestrated it absolutely beautifully. Again, I want to thank all of you who supported the Teachers Fund during the drive, and look what we did. It's just fabulous, and I just want everybody, if you don't mind, unmute yourself and give Brianna a huge applaud.
Way to go.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you,
done.
Brianna. Thank you so much. And again, I'll have Brianna, or we'll have marketing or somebody send out a little bit about it, so that you all know all the great agents that were on her committee and helped her get this amazing amount of money. So anyway, it's wonderful. Thanks, Bree. Do we have anything in the chat, or does anybody have, we have a little bit of time for any questions or any comments or anything anybody feels like sharing with the group?
I have a buyer need. It's Jackie.
Perfect,
Yes.
Jackie.
Okay,
Thank
yes.
you. You know, I forget to do that because we're not in person. Thank you for reminding me.
So these are my Arcady sellers. I don't think they want Goleta. For, let's say, Santa Barbara to Carpinteria. They're very flexible. They're very open. But I think what they want is something with a guest facility. It can be obviously a detached studio, 1-bedroom cottage would be great, or even like a guest wing. They do need at least 4 bedrooms total, up to about $1.5 million, $1.6 million. Thank you.
Anyone else with a buyer need? Anything in chat, Leanne?
Nothing. No, just lots of congratulations to Bree.
Oh, wonderful. All right.
Actually, Renee, it's Tobias.
Hi, Tobias.
And I have a buyer need for a townhouse style condominium, hardwood floors, fireplace is a must. She's already closed on her property down in Brentwood, and she's got, you know, a large percentage down, and we'll go up to 900,000. So she's got some very specific needs. Wants the mid Santa Barbara, I would say. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. All right, everyone. Elizabeth.
I have some buyers that are looking for a house that has a communal pool. They want to swim but not maintain the pool all the time. So like Diamond Crest or one of those developments. They have 2 kids, so a good size house. They can go up to about 1.8.
Perfect. All right. All right. Anyone else? No? Okay, everyone. Well, have a wonderful week. Thank you. Thanks for joining us this morning, and enjoy the sunshine. It's going to be a beautiful week. So thank you all. Bye-bye.